Picture this. You're sitting down to watch a live poetry performance. The first poet takes the stage, and as they begin to read, they're accompanied by a live jazz band. If this sounds intriguing, well, you're in luck. International Jazz Poetry Month returns to Pittsburgh on May 2nd. The festival features more than 50 artists, including local jazz icons and poets from Algeria, Cuba, Sudan, and Ukraine. Tickets to watch online or in person at City of Asylum's home on the north side are free. Get yours at cityofasylum.org before they're gone.
Today on CityCast Pittsburgh, the marathon may be over, but street closures for all the foot races here in town are not. If you were an Art Institute student, you might qualify for student loan forgiveness. And producer Sophia Lo has a few fun animal updates, so stick around for birds and baby groundhogs. It's Tuesday, May 7th. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. I'm with CityCast Sophia. Good morning.
Hey, Megan. How are you?
Not bad. Are you feeling restored from the gloomy weekend? I know you just love to rot.
I know everyone on TikTok is talking about rotting and brain rot, but I prefer flop time because I physically do a very dramatic flop onto my beanbag chair. But regardless of what you call it, I didn't actually have too much flop time. Between going to Veg Fair and checking out the women's history exhibit at the Heinz, I was pretty busy.
That's a lot for you.
Yes, it is. But I know a lot of people who did a lot more, specifically all those marathon runners, because obviously it was a very busy weekend for them too. Did you see anything interesting with the marathon?
Yeah, it seemed like it was a pretty packed weekend all the way around here in Pittsburgh. I love Marathon Day. I was kind of worried at first because it was so rainy, but my partner assures me that apparently cool-ish overcast weather is totally ideal for running. I did not know that.
I mean, it makes sense that you're not overheating from the sun, but I guess that's one thing Pittsburgh weather is good for, marathons most of the time.
I know. As a spectator, give me the sun. Give me a nice 70-degree day. But yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I guess except that people here have to start training for this in January. LOL. We were looking at just some recap statistics for folks. P3R, the company that puts on the whole marathon thing, they reported that 42,000 people participated in something all weekend long. So there's the full marathon, that's 26.2 miles that people do by choice. The half marathon, so half that distance. And then there's a bunch of divisions too, like hand cycle, which is super cool. They have 5Ks, a champions mile, a pet walk, and then a bunch of kids stuff, including a toddler trot, which I am suddenly very excited about. Did not know that was a thing.
I did not know that was a thing or that the pet walk was a thing. I would do the pet walk or the toddler trot with you and your child. Those are the ones that are my speed.
We would be very proud to have Jens. Also, my kid responds very well to snacks, so I feel like y'all would get along in that way.
Oh, absolutely.
For folks who do like running for real, an American won this year, which is not often the case. A Michigander named Andrew Bowman, whose wife actually won it in 2018, and she challenged him to try to go back and do the same thing she did. So I thought that was kind of cute.
That is cute. I'm glad they found each other. I do not run. I did not even realize that people from outside the U.S. would come here for our marathon.
Oh my gosh, so many people.
I know people travel for them, but I guess I always figured if you're coming from outside the U.S., you'd go to the bigger cities.
Oh, no, it's like a whole specialty thing. They make sure the airport's prepared for them and everything.
Oh, okay. Well, learning something new, probably about to learn something new too, because how quickly do people usually finish marathons? I don't think I've thought about that either.
I mean, in the world, like the tippy top athletes everywhere right now are attempting to do it in less than 2 hours. I know it has actually been done, but like
Whoa.
in a very condition specific track setting, not in an official race setting.
Okay.
But Pittsburgh is harder because hills and hard to predict weather. So this year's winner did it in 2 hours, 15 minutes, 52 seconds.
Mind-boggling.
And then two Pittsburghers or people connected to Pittsburgh finished second and third right behind him at 2 hours and 17 minutes.
What about women?
Yes, still really freaking fast. First place went to a person from Chicago, Jane, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, Jane Barakis, about half an hour later.
Whoa, still super fast, still in awe.
Yeah, so, and I thought you'd like this, both men and women get the same purse amounts. It's not a ton of money, it's $7,000 for first place, but still nice that there's parity. And there's also this first Pennsylvanian bonus too, which is kind of fun. So even if you finish like 20th or 50th, if you are the first Pennsylvanian, you get an extra $1,000.
And you also mentioned like kids races. Do kids get anything for doing things? Can kids even win?
I mean, they don't get money for winning, but they do get like participation situations. But there is this program called Kids of Steel that I think is sort of neat, where schools all over Pittsburgh or Pittsburgh area encourage kids in their schools to log 25.2 miles in whatever way they can before marathon day. And then all 266 partner schools do the final mile together the Saturday of race weekend.
Sweet.
I know. And then there's a bunch of charity options to run various legs of it too, if that's your thing. I saw a new one, or I guess new to me, I should say, where you can run the back half of the marathon course. You just have to have like a minimum fundraising amount. I think it's $800. That all has to go towards charity. But I think that's super cool because it's the back half of the marathon that gets a little lonelier, but you go through like really cool neighborhoods. It's fun.
Yeah, but marathon day's over. So does that mean we are done towing cars? I know we warned everyone about that on Friday.
I have bad news for you, or good news for our listeners who really enjoy the specific form of exercise. There are races that are going to shut down city streets all summer. So just the big ones here. The Liberty Mile is in July. Run Around the Square, that's Regent Square, is in August. The Steelers' big 5K that they do and the Great Race are both in September. There's an EQT 10-miler in November. And then there's all the turkey trots come Thanksgiving. So there is a long, long road ahead if you hate a road closure.
Okay, just warn me, please, so I can figure out if the bus routes change.
Promise. Do you like to dance? Look at beautiful art, eat gourmet snacks, people watch? Well, mark your calendars for Friday, June 7th for one of my favorite parties in Pittsburgh. It's Mattress Factory's 25th garden party. The theme this year is Make Believe, and it's all to celebrate and support the creatives in our community. There's going to be live music, an open bar, an art auction, and probably my favorite, the costume contest. Trust me, I will be judging yins, and so will everyone else there. Be playful, be imaginative, explore your magical realm, because this is a theme party. You want to come dressed to impress. You must be 21 and up to attend, and rest assured, every dollar raised goes directly towards supporting the museum, its art, its education, and all of its community outreach initiatives. Get your tickets now to the 25th Mattress Factory Garden Party. They are in our show notes and online at mattress.org. So, Sophia, what have you been watching over the past weekend?
I've always got my eyes out for any stories about student loan forgiveness because I would love for my debt to just poof away. Recently, I saw good news for former Art Institute students. Biden just made an announcement recently about forgiving a little over $6 billion in debt. And this applies to 317,000 people. So big number.
Yeah. I would love to know how many of those might be affected here in Pittsburgh because we had one for a long time. The Art Institute is like a private art school and the whole system shut down last year. But we had a location here in Pittsburgh. It was on the Boulevard of the Allies for a long time. And then I guess for its last couple years, it was in the Strip District. But yeah, the whole local operation closed in 2019.
I remember seeing news last year when Art Institutes shut down nationwide, and, the group was saying it was because they weren't getting enough enrollment, they weren't doing well financially. And around the same time, I remember seeing news about, sketchy recruiting methods. But what happened with the school here in Pittsburgh in 2019? That was before my time here.
Yeah, I remember this being kind of sudden, but that was just from my vantage. Maybe if you were an alum or watching more closely, it hit you different. I'm looking at an old WESA article now. It said that they had been having problems for a while. So the school officially closed in March of 2019, but earlier that year in January, they announced that they would be closing, laid off a ton of their staff, and then management changed. And I guess there was hope for a minute that it could remain open, but obviously that didn't happen.
Ooh, that's a lot of things happening really fast. I feel bad for all the students that, were affected by the sudden closure.
Yeah. And I mean, with this student loan forgiveness, there's usually some kind of eligibility requirement. I'm wondering what kind of restrictions there's ultimately going to be on who gets their debts forgiven. Because obviously everyone wants their debts forgiven.
Yes, I would love my debt forgiven once again. But according to NPR, students who were enrolled in an Art Institute school between January 1st, 2004 and October 16th, 2017 will be eligible for debt forgiveness. So the Department of Education said that the school basically misrepresented what kind of opportunities and salaries would be available for students after graduation. Seemed like they had been facing those accusations of fraud even before closing up.
Yeah. Can you imagine if you were enrolled just before or just after those dates? That would be completely devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think at the time that they closed here in Pittsburgh, there were about 2,000 students enrolled. Again, this is according to that WESA article. So it seems like at least for that amount of time, it would apply to a fair number of Pittsburghers.
Yeah, definitely. And if it does apply to you, the Department of Education should have or will be reaching out to you. I saw reporting from the AP saying that they started this outreach last week. And the average payout for each person is going to be about $19,000. That's a big chunk of money. And if you have been already repaying those loans, that money could get refunded back to you.
Wow. Yeah. And I mean, I guess if you're looking for other ways to qualify for student loan forgiveness, there are programs that apply to teachers, people working in nonprofits. It can be kind of a long list. So definitely check out some of the resources. One we saw was studentaid.gov to look at any potential options for debt relief if you think you might qualify.
Mom deserves the best, and there's no better place to shop for Mother's Day than Whole Foods Market. They're your destination for unbeatable savings, from premium gifts to show-stopping flowers and irresistible desserts. Start by saving 33% with Prime on all body care and candles. Then get a 15-stem bunch of tulips for just $9.99 each with Prime. Round out Mom's menu with festive rosé, irresistible berry chantilly cake, and more special treats. Come celebrate Mother's Day at Whole Foods Market.
Megan, we're wrapping up with a bunch of animal news, my personal favorite.
Yay.
First up is something sad, so maybe hold the yays, but I promise we'll end with something good.
Okay, hit me with the sad news. I guess I'm ready.
So the National Aviary's first ever African penguin has died. His name was Stanley, and he had some issues with his spine and joints. That's according to KDKA-TV.
Yeah, he'd been there a really long time. I remember he was named for the Stanley Cup, which I think was particularly confident of the aviary back in the day because that was not our best era of penguin hockey. It was bleak.
That's okay. That's still really cute. And, Stanley had a good life. They got him when he was 2 months old and he was 20 when he died. The aviary posted on Facebook saying that, he was getting treatment for his conditions. And that included physical therapy and acupuncture. Megan, I've never had acupuncture. This penguin has had more specialized treatments than I have.
Yeah. I haven't either. I want to, but I never have. I mean, I'm glad Stanley got to go out in the most relaxing way possible.
Yeah, unfortunately, it sounds like that acupuncture wasn't really helping. And, the best thing for him was to get put down. But people are sharing some happy penguin stories in the comments of the Facebook post. So overall, still very sweet. And his penguin partner, Dottie, is hanging out with the rest of the penguins now. But the aviary also said that, she stayed by Stanley's side throughout his life.
Oh, Dottie. We'll be thinking about Dottie.
Yeah, I have another bird story. This is happier news, but I guess Megan still stick with me because I know birds are not your favorite animal.
Look, I support the birds. I just don't need them in my life every day. That's all.
Okay, so I get these 2 bird stories, and tomorrow I won't tell you anything about birds. But do you know about the eagle's nest at U.S. Steel's urban plant?
Yes, actually, I do. It's a bald eagle camera at the plant. You can check it out. Like the video feed, they have it running 24/7, which is cool if you're into birds and want a sneak peek at the eagles, but also just kind of cool if you want like some ambient life in your home office, because I have definitely turned that on some days just when I need a living, I don't have any pets, so I just needed like a living creature to sit in my office with me.
Okay, so pro bird when you need company.
Sometimes they're really fuzzy and cute, like right now.
Yes, baby eagle's very cute, and eagle cam watchers like you might know that a baby eagle did join the family recently, and there was a contest named the Little Eaglet.
I forgot about the contest. I meant to vote in it. I think it was a fundraiser for the Tamarack Wildlife Center, but you had to donate to vote. Am I remembering this right?
Yes, and we have a winner now. We have a name for the eagle. The baby eagle's name is Lucky. KDKA TV reported that people cast in votes from 25 states and 2 countries. I want to know who's invested in this outside of Pittsburgh, but I am so happy people are getting in on this because that means we can have some Pittsburgh version of Fat Bear Week one day.
Oh my God, yes, please. Fat Bear Week is like a national holiday. I guess, okay, so last up, I'm assuming, Sophia, because every time you do critter news, it always comes in a 3-pack.
Yup, one more news item about animals. It's happy and it's not related to birds. It's about groundhogs, specifically the state's favorite groundhog, Punxsutawney Phil.
Your favorite groundhog.
Yes. And his wife, Phyllis. I always do need to shout out Phyllis. Anyway, these 2 are proud groundhog parents now. They've had 2 babies, which I also talked about on the show. Yes, I was excited then too.
You were so excited about the baby groundhogs, but you hated their photo. I thought they were still cute. They were just sort of hairless.
Yeah, I don't really like groundhogs until they're fuzzy. They are cuter now. If you go to Phil's Facebook page, there's the 2 baby groundhogs eating some bananas. But the news here is that the Groundhog Club is looking for name suggestions for the little babies.
I mean, I assume you have some ideas.
Yeah, I have 2 names for the 2 groundhogs. First, philodendron, like the plant.
That's a great one.
And then philo, like the dough. I'm really proud of them. Unfortunately for me, it maybe sounds like you're supposed to submit the name ideas in person. A Facebook post on Phil's page says to look out for name suggestion box around town. So anyone in Punxsutawney or by the library, drop in those names for me, please. But like a ton of people are also commenting on Facebook. So maybe those names will also get pulled in for consideration.
That's incredible.
Submissions are open until this Thursday, May 9th, and then they're announcing the baby names on Mother's Day.
Good. Perfect. That's what Phyllis needs for Mother's Day, is to know what to call her children. That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. If you're liking what you hear, please write us a nice review. I know people say that on every podcast all the time, but it really does help. And it's a very nice way to show us, the CityCast team, that you care. We might even read yours on the show. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Talk to you soon.
Sorry, Mallory, if you're editing this section. Sorry to me if I'm editing this section.